That's a vibe by the beat. That's a vibe by the beat. That's a vibe by the beat.
Yo, Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host and hopefully your favorite Armchair GM, CJ. All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all doing good out there today. Everybody here in the Charlotte area, I hope y'all made out good with that little storm we had come through here last night. I got a homeboy of mine who had part of a tree fall on his car, so Mesa, I hope you get that straightened out today, man. If you need any help, holla at your boy. But yeah, now mind you, on my end, I was happy because my yard needed some rain. I replanted my seeds and stuff a few weeks ago. Yard full of straw, peat moss and everything. And I've been, doing it with my little makeshift sprinkler system. But yeah, so I'm happy to see the rain, but it was a pretty heavy thunderstorm last night for a while around here in the Charlotte area. So I hope everybody made it through that okay. All right. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. All right. I thank y'all for joining me. And if you haven't, on your way in, please hit that like and subscribe button. You can give me a follow on all social media right here at Armchair GMCJ. And I appreciate all the love and the support. And speaking of that, shout out to all of my members. Okay. All of my front office members out there. I thank you very much for joining. Whether you joined yourself or gifted a membership by some of our great subscribers to the channel. Either way, I appreciate all the love and support, and I hope everybody will re-up for another month. All right. And I just thank you, and thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I got my draft hat on again. I know if Nakari is watching this. Yeah, there you go. All right, I know he's probably counting how many times I adjusted my hat here. It's going to be a lot. Oh, that's crooked. All right, it's going to be a lot in the car. That's just what I do. He told me I look like the Black John Cena with my with my shirt on that I had on the other day. I had on a Beavis and Butthead shirt that said, Beavis shirt. I'm the Great Cornholio. So yeah. But yeah, I got my draft hat on again. And if you didn't see our last live, go back and check that out. We did a draft recap. Okay, we're doing another draft recap today, but it's just adding in the undrafted free agents. All right, we're going to talk about the undrafted free agents that the Panthers have, and at the end, I'm going to talk about who I think are the winners and losers of this entire draft, as a whole. And also give everybody a look at the the current roster as it's projected by our lads. Okay. All right. And I am also going to throw the link up here if anybody wants to come up and join me and talk about our undrafted free agents. And let me go ahead and pin this in the chat. All right, so that is up there if anybody wants to show up. Now, mind you, I don't have any really like detailed any like on these players. Okay, I've watched a little bit of film on a couple of them, but I don't have a lot of details on all of them. So we'll just mention them. Like I said, if any of y'all have anything y'all want to say about some of them, if you've seen anything or heard anything about any of these players, feel free, leave it in the chat. Jump up on here and tell us about it yourself. I greatly appreciate it. All right, but let's get into some comments here. Let me see. Nick Tri-State, what's going on, dog? How you doing? So make sure to hit that like button on the way in. Yes, sir. Thank you. 9 Dime all the time. What's going on? What's up, homie? How you doing, sir? B Amos. Yes, let's get it. How you doing? SC Pace. What's going on, man? How you doing? Kevin. What's going on, Kev? How you doing, big dog? Was it two lives in a row, man? Hey, you popping up more, man. I like it, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Kevin Hubbard, Panthers Nation. What's going on, Kevin? How you doing? Black Fire. What's up, CJ and Panther fam? Time to talk about these gems we have. Yes, and I do think we got a couple. I do think we got a couple. Here go my boy. With so many we got so many undrafted free agents. I tuned out as soon as the draft was over. I need a Panther break. Well, we got less than we had last year. Last year we had 19, if I'm not mistaken, and this year we have we have 15. So we have 15. I almost messed up because there were two that on the site while I was looking at, putting my slides together yesterday, there were two that weren't on there. And I figured that out this morning. So I rushed out here and got a couple more slides put up, so I can have them on there too. He says not good for his blood sugar. CJ, the only person to take care of a real lawn and a virtual lawn simultaneously for 12 months a year. Hey, that's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. But my virtual one is a whole entire farm. Okay. If y'all don't know, I am a gamer. I play a game called Farming Simulator. And yes, that sounds, it's just how it sounds. Yeah. I sit on my computer and I run a little virtual farm. Yeah. B. Amos, it poured down in Georgia last night too. Yeah, man. Hey, let me tell you, I've been so mad at the rain all week because it was supposed to rain all week in Charlotte. We were supposed to get these little bands of rain coming through, and all week long, every band of rain came south of Charlotte, came north. It did like this. It went around our house and then like came back together north of Charlotte, and it started raining going north like the Greensboro and all that. But we finally we got soaked last night. CJ Morgan. Hey, you know what? Hey, I try. I try again. I'm not damn, but hey, I'm too sleepy to worry about you. Now what's up now? Oh gosh, I ain't slept since yesterday. I was just about to lay down, but then I saw you were going live. Well, I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you, man. Don't don't if you fall asleep, just leave it running, okay? Palmetto Panther, what's going on? I'm liking Troy Polamalu Jr. Hopefully he makes the roster. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I seen some highlights on him. He's all over the field. Let me see. I'm glad we got Princely. Yes, I'm glad we got Princely. Uman Mielen. Okay, I looked that up. Princely Uman Mielen. That's how you say his last name. All right. So hopefully I won't be butchering that this season. All right. Being was Mr. Hunky Dory said Princely could squat 3 big women that had me with the other night. Oh, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Let me tell you, yo, if y'all I made a whole short on that. So we were talking about Princely Umar Mielin from Ole Miss. And Mr. Hunky Dory said, have you seen the clip? He can squat 700 pounds. And Mr. Hunky Dory then goes and he said, hey, that's 3 big girls in the club right there. And I'm glad he had more to say after that because it took me a minute to get myself together to get back on here and actually talk. Because when I say he caught me on that one, he caught me out of left field on that one. 3 big gals at the club. Oh, I hollered. I hollered. On the car said Prince has been acting like a stepchild. He really finna bring violence. I hope so, man. I hope so. We need that at our edge position. We need somebody in here that's going to be violent and get after these tackles and guards and get to the quarterback. We need to get the quarterback on the ground to protect our linebackers and more importantly, protect our secondary. Because what happens if you can get pressure on the quarterback? That's less that your secondary has to do. They either get sacked, you might get them into a bad throw, you might pressure them to run out of the pocket, they get tackled, so we need pressure. And that's something that we've been sorely lacking out of our edge position, in a few years here. But yeah, but we'll see. It said not stepchild, but middle child. See, sleepy. I got you. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into these undrafted free agents. And okay, we're gonna start off with quarterback Ethan Garbers from UCLA, 6'3", 210 pounds. His completion percentage last year was 64.7. He had 2,727 yards and 16 touchdowns. Now mind you, my only thing about this pickup right here, um, I mean, maybe it's some competition for Jake Plummer, as the practice squad slash, third string quarterback. I don't see it being much more than that. Andy's gonna be the backup, Bryce is gonna be the starter. But like Dan and Dave always say, hey, they're always like to bring in competition. They're gonna bring in competition in every position. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on with him. The card says, I don't care. Put him over the QB from last year. I don't like our third QB. You don't like Jack Plummer? What Jack Plummer do to you? It's funny you say that, because there were a lot of folks around Panther Nation last year who swore on everything that Jack Plummer was going to come in here and take the starting spot. They swore Jack Plummer was better than Andy. They swore Jack Plummer was better than Bryce. All right, so we'll see. We'll see. Jack Plummer played and scored in preseason games. Yes, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with a man here. Like I said, don't know too much about him. I gotta go take a look at some film on him. See what we got. The rookie mini camp is coming up in a few days. So, shout out to all the sideline reporters that will be out there. Hopefully we can get a good look at it, from their perspective, and also from training camp, because again, we can't go to training camp as fans. So we'll see how this plays off. You see Plumber Hive stupid. They was so it was, man. It was so much hatred for Bryce. I mean, let me tell you, in the car, I could have went out there and put some pads on, and if I threw 2 completions, they'd probably be like, yeah, bench Bryce, put CJ. Well, it was crazy. Yes, delusional fans thought that. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. What do you think about us about picking up Ruggs out of prison? Well, I saw that article and it says he's not eligible for parole until August of 2026. So even if that is true and the Panthers would be considering him, it wouldn't be till next year. I think a lot of people saw that post and were like, "Oh my God, he's about to be on the roster this year." It's just like, hold on, pump your brakes, y'all. He's not going to be on the roster this year. Okay, if I read that article right, he's eligible for parole in August or September of 2026. So we won't be seeing Henry Ruggs no time soon. And I don't even know if it's true that the Panthers are interested in him, or if it's just more so somebody putting out an article to get clicks. But we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. We could have drafted Shador as a backup. Man, let me tell you, boy, I done heard it's been so much surrounding that whole story. So many stories about Shador. I mean, from him, not being prepared for meetings, and they asked him to familiarize himself with the playbook, and he came out. It just all kinds of stuff. Hey, I don't know if any of it's true. I'm happy the man got drafted, and I pray he does well in Cleveland. I mean, like I said, it's wild though, because they drafted him and Dylan Gabriel, excuse me, from Oregon. So that should probably be the QB battle of the preseason right there, as far as rookie goes. You got Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, both on the same team. So we'll see. We'll see. It said, man, forget Ruggs. He's still playing for the longest yard. Oh, he's not free yet, Palmetto Money. He's not free yet. On a side note, Tony was my boss at Foot Locker in my last dream. He threw a pair of Tim's at me. Oh my God. Yo, the car, you crazy, man. You are crazy. All right, let's go ahead and move on. This has been Ethan Garber's quarterback from UCLA. All right. And the next one we have K'Ron Lynch Adams. All right. Running back from Michigan State. Last year he had 133 rushes, 641 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's 5'10, 210 pounds. Now, mind you, when he played at UMass, in his career before he transferred to Michigan State. Now, his best year wasn't this past year, but it was the year before that. And he had 236 attempts, 1,157 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Okay. Now, just like the wide receiver room, this running back room is starting to get really crowded. And I don't know, exactly how he might fit in, or, how good of a shot he has to carve himself a role, into the offense. Because you think about it, we got Chuba, we got Rico, we got Trevor Etienne. Brooks, he's on the bench for the year, so you ain't worried about that. But then, so you got Raheem Blackshear, okay, and then we have, if I'm not mistaken, there is, and I just had it up here on our lads. Hold on one second. All right, let me see. Make sure I get my stuff right here. Okay, yeah, Imani Bailey, and then we have Raheem Blackshear and Kayron Lynch Adams. So if the Panthers do decide to keep four running backs on the 53 roster, you never know. He might have a shot, to make it. He might. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, his best season was not this past year, but last year and the year before that when he was at UMass. Okay, but this past year he had 133 rushes, 649 yards, and 2 touchdowns. All right, and let me see. I still miss Dylan Johnson. He was the one. You know what? I had high hopes for Dylan Johnson. I thought he was going to come in here, and I thought he was going to make the roster. He did get on the practice squad, but I thought he would be, on the game day roster a lot more than he was. I thought he was going to be, potentially that power back that I keep, harping for. But yeah, but we'll see how it goes. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if he signed yet or he signed with the no, that was Lonnie Johnson that signed with the Raiders. That was a different Johnson. Okay, my bad. Let me see. Said maybe I made that name up. Dylan somebody. Yeah, Dylan Johnson said don't know his name, but I miss him. CJ Hill, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So that was, like I said, that was running back Kayron Lynch Adams, 5'10", 210 pounds, out of Michigan State. Okay. All right. Now here's where to me it gets a little interesting. Okay. With our wide receiver room, because you got Kobe Hudson here out of UCF. All right. Now, in a couple of the draft simulators, I've seen him ranked higher than the wide receiver we took in the 6th round, Jimmy Horn. Okay. Last year he had 47 receptions, 770 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's 6'1", 199 pounds. Okay. And if you look at his draft profile, let me see. Overview. Okay. Perimeter wide out with good size and above average speed to separate as a deep ball option. Hudson is slick with his press release and tracks the football effectively once it goes up. He can make challenging catches but struggles with focus drops and bringing in off-frame throws over the first 2 levels. Hudson will need to prove it as a route runner before he can be anything more than a field stretcher. But he has the size and athletic profile to be worthy of a day 3 pick. Okay, so they had Hudson going, somewhere in the 4th to 7th round, and he slid all the way and went as an undrafted free agent. Okay, and like I said, this wide receiver room is crowded now. Probably one of the most crowded position groups that we have on our roster. All right, and we also and that was before we even picked up anybody from the undrafted list. Okay. And I'll get to a couple more here in a second, but you think we got Ted, XL, Coker, David Moore, Adam Thielen. Now we have Hunter Renfro. Okay. Add Hunter Renfro to the mix. All right. And then you have a Kobe Hudson here. Now you also, let me get the comments here. Let me see. I thought Boone was, I thought Mike Boone was solid too. I thought they was gonna bring him back, but hey. Black Fire says Hudson and George on the 53. Moore and Renfro can go. Ooh, okay. All right. I got you. Let me see. And welcome. Before I get to the next, welcome. Mr. Nick Tri-State. Big dog, how you doing, brother?
CJ, what up, man? Happy Sunday.
Uh Happy Sunday to you,
How
brother.
you
Hey,
doing?
what what you think about the couple I said so far and Mr. Hudson here? If you got any thoughts on the other two guys?
I like Kobe Hudson a lot. I like Jimmy Horn more. I think Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
Horn. I think Jimmy Horn could be our return guy who will be a really good return guy for us, and I think he may develop pretty well under Adam Thielen, and he
Mm-hmm.
may be our future slot guy.
Okay.
I think Jimmy Horn's going to surpass Coker as a wide receiver on
Mm.
our depth chart.
Okay.
Yeah, I think his skill set, what he provides,
Mm-hmm.
is when he learns to get off that line, his release got to be a little better at the line. But I think learning under Thielen, that'll definitely be
Mm-hmm.
beneficial for him. But
Yeah.
Kobe Hudson he's a dog, man. We got a steal there with him as an undrafted guy. I
Yeah. I've
saw a
seen a
lot of
lot of
mock
people
drafts.
say
This
he's a
kid getting
gem.
drafted in the later rounds, So this could be a steal for us.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I want to say in one of my earlier drafts, I drafted him somewhere in the middle, one of the middle rounds, maybe like fifth or sixth round or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I saw a lot of
he was a
drafting going.
name.
Yeah.
He was a name when they said we picked him as an undrafted free agent. I went back and looked
I
and I
was
was
like,
like,
he
hold
didn't
on,
get
wait a minute.
drafted?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said the
facts.
same thing. And and Dan and Dave said they had everybody ranked on their board.
Hmm.
Okay. So my thing is they had Jimmy Horn ranked above, Kobe Hudson, but somewhere on their board they had Kobe Hudson because when the draft was over, let me tell you, this is probably one of the first calls they made.
I wouldn't
I
doubt
would
it.
bet if I'd bet a few dollars. This was probably one of the first calls they made and said, "Hey, this is Dan Morgan, with the Carolina Panthers. We want you to come and sign with us." By then, David Tepper probably don't talk to the undrafted free agent. He was
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
He was somewhere getting ready for the Kendrick Lamar concert last night. But you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, he had a concert down there, right? He
yeah,
did.
man. My daughter went to it. My wife surprised her with some tickets. Her friend and let's see, my wife and her friend surprised all of our daughters with tickets to the concert. So yeah,
That's what's
you
up.
know,
He's a
it
good
it, it
performer
poured.
live.
It poured before the concert. Luckily, they were able to see the concert, and then it poured after.
Okay.
So yeah. All right,
Yeah.
and let me also add my good buddy Nakari. What's going on, big dog? How you doing?
What's up, fam? I'm here. I
You
figured,
here?
Nick likes to talk, so I'm just gonna be on the screen and be silent.
Nah, bro. Nah, we all rapping. We all rapping, bro. We all rapping.
Nah,
We
I'm just
all
coming to
rapping
be
today.
the complete opposite of you. That's all.
I hear you. I hear you. But it's wild though because my thing is competition. Okay, if you can say one thing, Dan and Dave have brought in competition and depth at the majority of the position groups for the Carolina Panthers. There are a couple position groups that I think were slightly neglected in the draft and free agency, and we'll get into that later. Okay, but Kobe Hudson. Okay, remember that name. He might be a steal in this draft. All right. All right. So our next person is Jacoby George, okay, wide receiver out of Miami. All right, last year he had 53 receptions, 752 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And on top of this, the Panthers gave him, I think it's a guaranteed $250,000 contract. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the same thing they did with Coker last year. And Coker ended up making the roster. So I don't know if they see, something that maybe we don't. But he played with Cam Ward last year. I'm sure that was helpful for him and his process and getting out there and being noticed. But I think he had a decent career, with Miami. Now with George, I will say this. So his overview from the NFL website: 2 year starter with consistent production but lacking desired pro traits. George is a feisty competitor who has allowed that fire to burn his team with critical penalties at times. He plays with average suddenness to uncover underneath and appears unable to blow by corners for open deep looks. There is some route let me see, there's some route acumen to work on with, and he wins a few more combat catches than expected for a receiver of his size. Unless he can rebrand as a crafty slot receiver, the difficulty he encounters when trying to beat physical cornerbacks could be an overriding concern for teams. All right. Either one of y'all got any thoughts on Mr. George here?
I wasn't too familiar with him being at the U. I know about Restrepo, and they had
Mm,
Elijah Arroyo, but I'm looking at his game log now from this past year. He ended the season pretty strong. He strung along some pretty good games. He's 7 for 88, 7 for 91, 6 for 121. So he ended the season pretty strong.
okay. What you got in the car?
So I just want everybody to temper their expectations. Coker not going anywhere. These UDFA receivers that we brought in, they're gonna have to really, 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 really ball out to make the team.
Mm,
Competition is good, but all of these dogs that we have, don't be surprised if they don't make the cut.
okay. All right, I got you. I got you. But yeah, but it's just interesting. I didn't expect them to bring in this many wide receivers, in for as undrafted free agents. But
Facts.
speaking of that, okay, the next one is somebody's son that was a fan favorite around Carolina for many years. All right.
Moose.
Musa Muhammad the third. All right. 6'1", 195-pound wide receiver out of Texas A&M. And everybody remembers around here, he went to Myers Park as well, Myers Park High School. Okay. Now, this last season, 6 receptions, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played in 10 games. Now, in 2022, which was his best season, he had 38 receptions, 610 yards, in 10 games. All right. Now, my question for y'all, this is this more of just like a legacy pickup? I guess you're saying it's like, hey, this was Moose's kid, let's give him a chance.
It's a great story, if nothing else.
Okay, what you think, Nick?
I would hope it's not like like a petty I would hope it's not that, but he got a ways to work, man. He got a ways to work.
He
He's got to
does.
come and show out for him to make the team. Because, like you just said, bro, hella competition at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Super
this
competition, though.
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of hate it for him because my feelings is this was the wrong year for him to be an undrafted free agent.
Yeah,
Now if he might have showed up last year, he might have had a shot. He might have had a shot.
I
But
agree.
and no disrespect to him, but I'm looking, practice squad at best
At
for him.
best, yeah, at best.
At best, unless he comes out here and just absolutely blows,
He'd have to do some Victor Cruz shit in preseason. Remember
man,
when
let me
Victor
tell
Cruz went
you.
off for the Giants out of
Yes.
nowhere and he made the team? Yeah, he would have to do something like that.
Yeah. He really would. He
It's
he
not
really
happening.
would. Yeah. But like I said though, a lot of competition in the wide receiver room. The wide receiver room is stacked, and we'll get into, potential winners and losers of the wide receiver room here a little later. Okay. But this right here, Musa Muhammad III, wide receiver out of Texas A&M, and also son of Panthers legend Musa Muhammad. All right. Now, okay, so I put the 3 offensive linemen on the same slide because when I say I couldn't find Jack Diddley on none of them,
Oh,
I mean,
Kandra, I
like,
like CJ. I like Kandra.
okay, tell me
I
about
thought he was gonna get drafted.
him.
I thought that he was. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the kid from Louisville. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get drafted. So that
Yeah,
that was
that's
a
what's
good
on his
pickup.
jersey.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. The other two, I'm not too familiar with, but Kandra I know about.
Okay, but
He'd
I feel
provide
like I
good
said,
depth at least. He got good size, 6'5",
yeah.
319. That's a big boy right there.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is this now, was it Michael Tarquin? Now he's the offensive tackle. He played, I think he played left guard and left tackle, and then I think when he went to Oklahoma, he got moved over to right tackle. So my thing is, can this dude possibly come in and carve a roster spot? Because like our only backup at left tackle is Yash Nyman.
Yep.
Okay. Who me personally, I don't care for too much. Okay. I don't really care for Yash Nyman too much. Especially you seen those games that Taylor Moton went down. Now he did okay in one, and then him and Icky decided they were going to forget how to play against the Cowboys. But these guys here, now mind you, like center, The center Steven Losoya out of Vanderbilt. Now, mind you, we got 17 centers on the squad right now. I hope he can carve out a spot at something else. But like I said, again, these are probably more, depth pieces, practice squad guys. But yeah, but you got Michael Tarquin, 6'5", 320 pounds out of Oklahoma, offensive tackle. Luke Kandra, 6'5", 319 pounds, offensive guard out of Louisville. And you have 6'4", 324-pound center Steven Losoya out of Vanderbilt. Okay. Nakar, you got anything on these guys right here before I move on?
I do not pay attention to offensive line enough to have anything to say. So no, good luck to them.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. This is one of the guys that I almost didn't get on here. Jared Harrison Hunt. Okay, defensive tackle out of SMU. And last year he had 42 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. He's 6'3", 290 pounds. Another person that I've got to go and look at some film on to see exactly what he is about. But I do like that number, 6.5 sacks. Okay. Now, mind you, if he can be, he probably won't be nose tackle, but if he can, maybe a backup to Derek Brown and Ashawn and Tershawn Wharton and all that. My thing is with the 6.5 sacks, it looks like he can get after the quarterback. Okay. What do you guys think about him?
I'm looking at that 81, and for a D tackle, I just think that's a crazy number. And I like crazy on my D line, so I'm ready for it. I don't have anything good, not good. I don't have anything like to add to any of these conversations. I'm literally just here.
I hear you. Nick, you got anything on one man right here?
Practice squad guy. With
Okay.
what we spent money on the front seven. Hopefully, he just provides depth. He's gonna be a rotational guy maybe at best, but he'll definitely start the season on the practice squad. To go back to the offensive lineman real quick, I was looking at our contract situation. So Brady, Corbett, and Cade Mays all have expiring contracts. So looking at that and seeing this, it makes a lot of sense what they're doing. And
Okay.
looking at our contract situation for after next year, there's not a lot of really super important guys that are like, oh my God, we have to re-sign. Besides those 3 offensive linemen I named and Adam Thielen, which honestly, after this year, if Adam Thielen's gone, I mean, I wouldn't mind it, because with all the young guys by the end of this season, hopefully Leggett and Coker and Jimmy Horn and Kobe Hudson all take that next leap where it's like we don't even need Thielen anymore. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
they definitely working for the future as well as for today, which is
Okay.
awesome.
Now, mind you, I wouldn't let me see. I wouldn't mind if Adam Thielen came back. Okay. If he goes out there and has another, like you said, he's had 1,000-yard seasons past 2 years with Bryce Young. I would love for that trend to continue this year, and if he feels like he wants to come back for another season, I'm here for it. Okay. Now, mind you, like I said, you get any of these, any of these wide receivers here, like I said, they're going to have to bust their ass to get on this roster. Okay.
Facts.
Now, one thing that I do hope is if hopefully Thielen comes out, has a great season no matter what he decides to do next year. But if he doesn't decide to come back, I do hope that some of these players are still at least on the practice squad, and maybe the Panthers can move them up, and sign them or whatever. What I don't want is, especially somebody like George, and Hudson, if they turn out to be gems, but they get on the practice squad and then somebody else signs them. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I'm kind of weary about, and hoping that does not happen with these guys here. I'm hoping that, if any of them are worth a damn, which I do think, Hudson, George, and I'm not going to say that Muhammad is not, but like I said, I haven't seen enough of him to say that he is going to, be more than a practice squad player. Right. But I do hope that, if they make the practice squad, I do hope they're around next year. I hope nobody doesn't pick them up, and next thing you know, they're on somebody else's squad balling out. So we'll see.
It's tough
We
because of the
shall see.
Renfro signing too, man. That Renfro
Yeah,
signing is like a curveball. was a huge
It
curveball for me.
it was because I didn't see that one coming at
I didn't
all.
see it coming
You
either.
know, and the crazy thing is he had been dealing with that ulcerative colitis since
Yeah, bro.
20
You heard about
after
that, bro? How
after
much weight he
after
lost?
yes, after his Pro Bowl season, he started having problems with the end of that season. And then I think for like 2 years, he just kind of, he fought through it. But you can see with his numbers and his stats. He went from that Pro Bowl season, and his next 2 years were not that great. And then it got to the point where he was just like, I gotta do something. And he went down to 150
That
pounds and said
150 pounds is crazy.
he ballooned up to 200. And let me tell you, I ain't gonna lie, I wish I was 200 pounds. Well, I'd be happy right now. But he ballooned up to 200, which for him, that's a lot for him. But I think now he's back down to I think like 180 or something like that. And he says he's ready to go. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. But okay, well, last person we talked about was Mr. Harrison Hunt here, and we're going to move on. Okay. Now this is the guy here that I really want to see what he does in camp, practice, and in the preseason. To a CV Nomura. Okay, I hope I said that right. To a CV Nomura. 6'1", 240-pound linebacker out of Fresno State. And last year he had 110 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 5 passes defended. Okay. Now, mind you, the little bit of tape that I've seen of him, he is all over the place. He's just everywhere,
He's
making
an off-ball
plays.
backer, CJ. Off-ball. Mike
Um,
linebacker. He's a middle linebacker. I'm assuming.
don't get me the line. I know he's not. Yeah, he's not an edge rusher. Yeah, he had to
Okay.
be off ball linebacker. Don't give me
Okay.
the line, okay? But
No, you
but he's
good.
he's all over the field, making plays, and and I hate to compare him to the Frankie Louvu because of the sort of the name. I hate to stereotype him like that. But Frankie Louvu was an undrafted free agent. You see what he did for us. You see what he's doing for the Commodores right now. I keep calling them the Commodores. I got to the point where now I don't say Commanders anymore. I'm sorry, he's doing it for the Commanders. But yeah, but what are y'all thoughts on him? Like I said, I think this might be one of the more interesting free agents they picked up.
This is one of the few UDFAs that I actually know about, and I think he has a good shot to make the team. I like his energy. I like his sideline to sideline. Kind of reminds me of Thomas Davis in that aspect. But
Mm.
I'm really hoping that he can make it. I just I think that's I was laughing at Will comment, but I think he has a good chance to make it.
Yeah. What you think, Nick?
I'm watching his highlights right now. He is flying on the
Mhm.
field. Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
Always
Going
Okay.
off the
around the ball.
highlights.
Hey, thank you, Palmetto Panther. Okay. Gotcha. I think we're talking about Thielen, right? Talking to this fan. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. All right, well, cool. But yeah, like I said, and he played with USC before he went to Fresno State. And I went back and looked at his numbers, like they were very, very pedestrian. Very just like if he made any plays, it was here and there in the third. But last year, hey, he took off and showed up and showed out. So we'll see. And the reason with him is now, mind you, if you look at our inside linebackers, okay, we have the man from what's the name? Christian Roseboom, Josie Jewell, Trevor Wallace, and I think Jacoby Wyndham, I think is his name. Okay, Jacoby Wyndham. And let me see, make sure I get my depth chart here, get it right.
Shirtless. I think
Is
Shirtless is
sure.
still on the roster.
Let me see. Yeah, Claude and Sherrills. You got Jacoby Wyndham. And then you
Radigan,
got
I
let me
think.
see. No, not Radigan. You got the man that's coming up after this one, and somebody named Mawasa Mapalo. I don't know who that is, but
I'm looking at this Tua CV's game log, bro. He had
mhm,
18 tackles against Air Force. Now Air Force is a run heavy team, so that lets me know he's pretty good in the run game. Be getting 18 tackles
okay,
against Air Force.
okay.
Mupalo
Well,
is
yeah.
our international player, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
he
right. My
doesn't.
man that they just signed from England. That's right.
He don't count
That's right.
in the
Okay.
53. So
Okay. You know, and Radigan, you right. He is still on here. You right. You right. You're absolutely right. Okay. All right, cool beans. But yeah, but I am interested to see what he does. I think if anybody, he might have the best chance to possibly carve him a spot, on this team. But we'll see. We'll see, because that's one of the positions where I felt like the Panthers could have done a little something at more than what they did. But hey, I'm not Evero, I'm not Morgan, so I guess they felt great at the position. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. All right. Let me see. Let me get to his comment. Say he definitely ain't Louvu, but he got a high motor. I got you. I got you. Diamond in the rough. Let me see. He said to receive his nice pickup. What's up, D Cash? Palmer Pan said there he is. CJ here. Our linebackers are ass. Need help there and the secondary. Hey, we're gonna get into that in a minute. Middle linebacker is the weakest position on defense. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you too much on that. I'm gonna argue with you a little bit. But not too much on that one. Palmetto Panther is not sold on Trevin Wallace. D Cash, CJ, hope you got our new starting nickel. Abe Kamara on this list. No, I do not. I do not. I do not. I did not see that when I looked up the free agent list. And the crazy thing is, last year the Panthers came out and made a post. If I missed it, y'all let me know. They made a post. It's on their website about the undrafted free agents. I did not see that this year. Like I said, if I missed it, y'all let me know. But what I would do is, before we get done, I will look him up and see if I can't share my screen, and we'll take a look at him too. But appreciate that, D Cash. Kendall, what's going on, man? How you doing there, Mr. Goat? All right. So you said Wallace was very underwhelming, to be honest. Had a couple of games, but he struggled a lot. Safety and corner are concerns. All right. Let me see. He said he got invited to rookie minicamp. He taking Smith Wade out. Okay, got you. All right. Kevin says, have we gotten weak on linebacker after Shaq went out? Let me tell you, there's a lot of people you asked that question would say we were weak with linebacker with Shaq in there. So you know, who knows? But I thought that was a position that the Panthers may have drafted, or now we did get Christian Roseboom, in free agency. I'm not gonna lie, I had never heard of him until the Panthers signed him. But we'll see. We'll see.
To me, CJ, that definitely feels like, to me, since they didn't really address linebacker in the draft, I think Dan Morgan is very high on Trevin Wallace. Has to be. Has
Gotta
to be.
be.
He's got to
Gotta
be.
be. Hey, and CJ Hill said Roseboom is very, very mid. But
He's
to be honest with
horrible
you,
on pass. He's
to be
horrible,
honest
bro.
with you, they gotta be high on him too, though. They
Yeah,
gotta be high on him. So we'll see.
we'll
We'll
see.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. But let me go ahead and move on. All right, so another linebacker, Bam Martin Scott, 6'2", 230-pound linebacker out of South Carolina. All of y'all South Carolina heads in here, like I said, I didn't really hear too much about him. He had 67 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles, last season. Another guy, if he can come in here and carve out a spot, and you know what, and let me look him up. Nick, the car, y'all got any thoughts on him?
Bam is pretty decent. I don't really see him making the 53. I think he's a practice squad player, but I'm not too high on him, not too low on him. I think he's just, very okay player. I'm
All
a
right.
Yeah,
South
I'd,
Carolina
I'd have to
fan,
I'd have
so
to agree on that. Yeah, it's just gonna be a practice squad guy. He'd have to really, really show out to make the squad.
I feel you. Slideshow, what's going on? So how often do we use 2 inside linebacker formations?
Pretty often.
Yeah, because I was going to say Evero used that 5 what is it 4-2-5 look a lot last year. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 in the secondary. He used that a lot last year, and I ain't gonna lie, me personally, I really got sick of seeing it. I swear I did, because he Clowney and whoever else would be kind of lined up in like that wide 9 position, and next thing you know, the opposing team's running back is going straight up the middle for 10, 15 yards. Like I said, I don't know if I'm not gonna sit here and say it's just because of that particular formation, but I talked about that on the last live too. They did that 4-2-5, and they might blitz one of those linebackers, or and occasionally they will blitz JC Horn. Well, JC Horn was a damn good blitzer, because I think every time he blitzed, he got a damn sack. So, we'll see. But yeah, they used that 4-2-5 a lot last season. All right.
They need to
But
teach JC how to punch the ball out for a secondary player. When he blitz, he never goes after the ball. He's always like, grabbing the quarterback at the shoulders. I need him to force some fumbles. But he is a good blitzer.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? At least he got them on the ground. You know what I mean? That was a big thing for us last year too, was missed tackles. So hey, he might not have created turnovers, but he got stops and got sacks and got the quarterback on the ground. Okay. Let me see. DCAS said, every single mock draft I did this year, I took Bam with my last pick. Okay, got you. You sound like me and one of the people that we picked up, but I chose another person at that position a lot during the mock drafts. All right. 910 said he got flashes too. Bam more of a run defender, in my opinion. Okay, thank you, T. Thompson. He also says that 4-2-5 was trash. We had Dane Jackson shaking my head. Yeah, man, I'm glad Dane went back to Buffalo. No disrespect to Dane, but I'm glad he gone. So glad he gone. Because me personally, it's like, we waited for you to come back from injury for that. And every time I think about Dane Jackson, all I see is Patrick Mahomes running away from him and Dane looking like, God, I'm just not feeling this today. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But yeah, I'm glad Dane is gone.
I'll be right back, CJ.
Okay, bro. DCash also took ransom every draft, but I was double dipping with him and Umanwari. Got you. 336 Boston, what's going on, big dog? We may have the guys this year to run the 4-2-5. Okay, I got you. Not a fan of that wide set. I mean, on certain plays, certain formations, certain situations down the distance, it's good. But us last year, it didn't work out a lot of times. It did not work. Clowney and Wanham coming off the corners didn't get much pressure. Okay, a lot of times I've seen some times where the tight ends would take care of either one of them, and no offensive tackle, guard help, no nothing. But we'll see. Definitely need to go back to 4-3. Hey, I'm not, let me tell you, I don't dislike the 3-4, but I'm kind of wishing we had it's just, I don't know, it's Evero for me. Okay. But in defense of Evero, he was out there working with Publix employees last year at points in the season. Okay, it was a lot of injuries. Our star defensive lineman went down the first game.
Excuse.
You got in the car. You got to.
No.
You got to,
because
you have to.
When we had our starters in the first game, we got ran out the building.
This is true. This is true. But we didn't have any time for that group to get together and meld and gel. And before all of them started going down with injuries.
The year before, we had a top 5 pass defense because everybody ran the ball on us. Nobody threw the ball because they was always up. I am not a fan of Evero's defense. I am not a fan of Evero as the coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. I'm ready for the next guy. We give him too many excuses, and they need to be on go game 1 this year. Because if we start off with a touchdown drive on the first game, I'm already calling for his job. I don't like Evero. It might be my sleep talking, but I'm tired of him. And I don't like calling for black men's jobs, but nah, man, I'm not a fan. Get me back in the 4-3.
Let me see. Will says, who do you think will get the green dot on defense this season? Josie. More likely it'll be Josie Jewell. Yeah. But when I say that in the car, about you got to, it's the fact that, my thing is, Canales likes Evero. he likes what he saw from his defense. When he was like he said, he's played against this defense. He knows what this defense can be when they have the right pieces in place. So, that's what I was saying. And the thing is,
You
and it's
know,
just like,
Canales says a lot. Canales told
he
Kay Adams that he wasn't thinking about a wide receiver. Canales said Bryce is our quarterback, and then not even 24 hours later, Bryce was not our quarterback. Like, I just
hey, you know what? Let me put it like this. I say this forever. I was ready to get rid of him last year too, as well. But when I heard Canales say that, I've stepped back on that a little bit because I was like, Evero is coming back, y'all. He's coming back, and I started thinking about it. And I said, if Evero at the end of the season sat down at the table in front of David Tepper, Dan Morgan, and Dave Canales and said, why should we bring you back for one more season as the defensive coordinator? I promise you, he would have had a manila folder full of just reports from the training staff. This is what I had to do. This is what I had to do it with. These are the players that I had to bring in towards the end of the season because everybody was hurt. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
and
We'll
I would
see.
have told them we brought in a lot of these players because they played with you and they knew this system, but yet they still look lost.
I mean, this is true, but you got to think about it though. You got to think about it
If
though.
they really
Out
believe
of
in Evero, why they got rid of so many of his friends, so many of his
I
coaches that he brought with him?
hey, I was just about to say a lot of the people that he brought in that knew him. Hell, ain't none of them still here except for Josie Jewell. You had Deshaun Williams. What was the safety name?
Oh, I mean
Oh,
like
that
the coaches, like
the
the
coaches. Oh,
yeah, like the assistants. They got rid of some assistants that he brought with him and they put in
mm,
their own guys. If they really believe in him, why are they gone? I just don't see it. Maybe
yeah.
it's me being, angry that we don't have a defense, and defense is the one thing that we've always had in Carolina.
Okay. Slideshow says Evero runs the shell 3-4. It's the attacking 3-4. They always do the best in my opinion. And I agree with that because Evero likes to sit back and keep everything in front of him. Okay. And I think that's where a lot of us have a problem with because he's not aggressive. And I'm not saying that you got to go out there and throw the kitchen sink, the cabinets, the dishwasher, and everything else at
But mix
everybody
it up,
every
damn
single
it.
play. Thank you.
Nick, where you
Thank
come
you.
from?
I'm telling you, boy. At first, I said, "Who the hell is that?"
Bend
but
don't break, but if we keep breaking, by the time the game is over, we then broke like 8 times. You can't bend with 8 different pieces. Like,
but my thing is, Evero's version of bending is bending, but you bending them and you getting pushed down the field. I'm sorry. There was no bend but don't break. That joint just broke. I mean, it just broke, and it broke completely in the form of our rush defense. Okay, and I know somebody, Blackfire said, why is and from now on he is going to be called Ty Shuttle. Okay, so I'm sorry, why is Ty Shuttle still on the team? I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought that was one of the players that was going to get cut, but he took a pay cut. I think he saved the Panthers $3 million, and he's still on the roster. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see. But that was a big reason for our run defense last year too. Now, Ashawn Robinson came in. Ashawn Robinson played defensive end. A lot of people thought he was going to play defensive tackle. He was like, no, I play defensive end. So you had the likes of Shy Tuttle. Oh my goodness, who else was playing? Brian Ray.
Raekwon
And
Williams.
Raekwon Williams. Just getting pushed yards and yards down the field. Like I said before, I say it again. Even with that 4-2-5, or even when he would bring another lineman up to the field, say you had 5 rushers, their offensive linemen, most teams were picking up our 5 rushers way too easy. Way too easy. If you don't believe me, go back and look at that Tampa Bay game. Shoot, here and in Tampa Bay. It was even worse in Tampa Bay. Okay. But yeah.
you got
All
me
right.
thinking about Evero, and I just remember him dropping Burns in the coverage, and that was enough for me right then and there. Why is our best rusher at the time?
Hold on one second, y'all. Let me switch screens here. All right. 336 Boston. What's going on, man? How you doing, sir?
Man, what's happening, shit, Joe? What's up, man? What's going on? Who's that?
Chilling on
McCoy?
a
Oh,
Sunday, big dog.
336.
yeah, man. What's
What's
up,
up,
Nick?
man?
What up, baby?
How y'all doing?
So, give us your thoughts real quick, Boston. What you
Uh,
think about this undrafted free agent class so far?
I think they did pretty good, just adding depth. Some of these guys may make the free agent. I mean, not the free agent, but some of these guys may make the 53-man roster. Very few of them. I'm not sure about the wide receiver class because it looks like we got about 15 wide receivers on the squad right now. So I don't know
We
how many
do.
of those guys are going to make it. But yeah, man, it's good to see the depth. Some of these guys, like I said, can actually play. I just don't think they're going to make the roster. But it's
Yeah,
good to see them add depth to them because we need that. It's one of the main
yeah.
things we haven't had in a long time is depth past, the first guy on the depth chart.
Yeah, this is true. And and I go back to what I said about, if they don't make the roster, end up on the free agents, end up on the practice squad and do get signed to somebody. Now we gotta remember too, somebody like Cade Mays. Cade Mays got cut. And I think he was on our practice squad. He got signed by the Giants. He went to their practice squad, and then the Panthers signed him right back. So there is a chance that if we get these players and we don't keep them, and somebody else picks them up and puts them on their practice squad, we can sign players back from other teams' practice squads if we so choose. But hopefully, if that is the case, the Panthers will get enough information out of these players and evaluate them enough and be like, well, you know what? If something, God forbid, something does happen to one of the current players on the roster during the season, hey, let's go see if so and so is available because we think that they might be a fit at this in this position. And the one thing that I want to see, and I think is going to happen this year, there's going to be a lot more of players, being used to their strengths. Okay. And I think you'll see that more so in the wide receiver room as well. Players being used in formations in different let me see in different sets, will be running different routes, and like I said, and it will be helpful, helpful to the Panthers, but also helpful to them because, like I said, taking advantage of the things that they do well, which is something I haven't seen a lot of from the Panthers in quite a while. Okay. It's just, to me, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, it seems like we just throw players out there and be like, hey, go do everything. You know what I mean? And it just ain't been working.
Let's say go
That
do something, go do anything.
I Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
that's
Hold,
not
hold
a
on, y'all.
we
Hold on.
thing. That's an ever thing.
Yes. Hey, what's up, QJ? 100 gorillas or 100 Derek Browns? Give me Derek Brown. Hey, man, let me tell y'all.
Nah.
Y'all stop with this crap with these daggone 100 dudes versus a gorilla. Y'all know how strong a damn gorilla is, man. I'm putting my money on the gorilla every time. I don't give a damn who it is.
I felt the
Oh
same way, but
man,
after hearing a bunch of experts talk about it, they say gorillas aren't built for long periods of stamina. Like they'll gas out after
Mm,
like a minute and a half. So like the first 30,
mm.
40 dudes will be dead, but then that gorilla's gonna be tired. I don't know
Oh,
about
so
y'all,
so
but
so
if
100
I was
Derek
one of those
Browns might
100,
have a chance.
yeah, after the first 40 or 50, you might have a chance. But the first 40 or 50 are the sacrificial lambs. They getting heads ripped
Okay.
off and all of that.
Well,
CJ.
let
The
me tell
question
you.
is, who's going in first? That's what we're gonna have to
That's
find
the
Hey,
out.
question,
exactly,
336.
exactly.
That's
Hey,
why it's
look,
never gonna work.
it won't be
Because
my
everyone
black
will
ass.
say,
My
yeah, that's
stamina ain't
funny,
ain't nothing.
336. 336 ain't lying, CJ. That's funny because
I
because
I
it's easy
know.
to say 100 men, but who gonna be the first one to run out of them? Everyone
Yeah,
gonna be like, not me,
Not me.
nah.
not me.
not
Hey,
me.
I'm like the gorilla. My stamina ain't shit. I'm not gonna be able to help
I'll
nobody
be
out.
watching on TV.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Somebody have to make me do that. Okay. Let me see. Danny Trejo, what's going on? They can have 90 guys through camp. They wait to see competition before they start cutting people. Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. And then right now, the Panthers are sitting at 81 players on the active roster. So they do have room for 9 more players. And I'm praying that one of those players is Julian Blackman. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's one that I hope will be here.
because in that
But I got you.
4-2-5, with that 4-2-5 scheme, it wouldn't surprise me if Trayvon Moehrig played some nickel corner for us with Ransom at the strong
Mm-hmm.
safety and then possibly Julian Blackman at free safety. You know what I mean? We could see some Trayvon Mooring at nickel in that situation.
So we're like 5 to 7 players over 90. Okay. All right. I'll go back and check. Thank you, Slideshow.
I'm ready to talk about the GOAT, man. When we gonna talk about Fitzgerald? That's my
I
kicker
wait,
now.
wait. Well, you know what, Nakar? Hey, oh, no, I'm sorry. We got a few cornerbacks to go through. My bad. Corey Thornton. All right, 6'1", 190-pound cornerback out of Louisville. Last year he had 38 tackles, 9 pass defended, and 2 interceptions. Again, this is another spot that I thought that we should have been a little bit more aggressive on in free agency, and in the draft, but the Panthers really didn't do anything in free agency besides re-signing Mike Jackson, which I don't disagree with. But bringing in somebody like Corey Thornton again, I don't see this being more than a practice squad pickup. I hope he proves me wrong. And y'all got any thoughts about Corey?
I think he can make the squad.
Okay.
I think he can make the squad. I like Corey Thornton. Louisville breeds
Mm,
pretty good corners, low key. Like
okay.
when I go off college football, I go off the school a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Certain schools breed certain positions. Like Penn
Like
State
Iowa
breeds
and tight end.
linebackers and safeties. You know what I mean? USC breeds, skill position players. Alabama
Mm-hmm.
breeds linebackers and D linemen and O linemen. You know what I mean? Louisville is one of those schools. They put out some good corners come out of Louisville.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner. Yeah.
Yep. No, Jair Alexander's from Louisville. What's his face played at Louisville? From the Cardinals, I think Garrett Williams played at Louisville.
Mm.
So Louisville puts out some pretty good corners.
He not Sauce no more. His name is Ahmad Gardner.
He dating
Mm.
Ice Spice. Good for him. Good for him. Good for him. Good for you.
Listen, he ain't sauce no more. Hey, that's all right for him. But yeah, Boston, you got any thoughts on Mr. Thornton here?
No, I don't know anything about this guy.
I agree
Okay.
with QJ, man. Asante Samuel Jr. still out there.
Yeah, yeah, but it's the money.
Yeah.
The Panthers only have 16 million in cap space right now, and that's before they've signed any of their the players that they drafted. They also have to sign the undrafted free agent, which is not going to add up to a lot, but it still has to come out of the cap. And I think that's probably the hold up with Julian Blackman too. But the thing is, he's still not signed, so we'll see. We'll see.
Neither is Justin
Hey, and
Simmons. Justin Simmons
mm,
still out there too.
true. Yeah. Hey, but shout out to Cheshire Cat for the $2 super chat. Greatly appreciated. Said they talking about one King Kong versus
Oh,
a
stop it.
hundred men.
That's blasphemy. The
Yeah,
King
and a
Kong
hundred
winning
King.
that.
Yeah, King Kong wins that one.
Yeah, you put 1,000 men versus King Kong, we losing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey,
Let's
but
talk
again, thank
about
you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Hey,
100 billionaires versus 9 million of us. Why we ain't
wow.
did that one?
But Slideshow said, would you sacrifice Clowney for a starting free safety?
Ooh.
I like Clowney, but I think I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Who's
I,
the free
I
safety? If it's Julian Blackman, I say
If
yeah.
it's Julian Blackman,
Oh, I
yeah,
don't care who it is. He
you
said a starting free safety. Yeah, Will Holoclone. Yeah,
yeah.
Will Holler.
I'd have to say yeah. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you, but yeah, because my thing is now, okay, you got Clowney, but now you got Pat Jones, you got Nick Scorton, you got Princely Oman Mielen. Damn, I said I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna mess his
Oman
name
Allen.
up. Yeah, Mon Mielen. So we got him. So, and I think if I'm not mistaken, um Clowney was being shopped during the draft. Okay, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. But we shall see. But yes, in a heartbeat, Slideshow, in a heartbeat. And shout out to the missus, my beautiful wife, for the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you. Everybody that has a membership that she gives you, thank you for welcome to the front office. Okay. Thank you for being a part of it. And like I said, I will be coming out with more membership videos here in the future. And we're gonna make this thing happen, y'all. But again, thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. Love you and appreciate you. But all right. Okay. So, all right. And got Mr. Thornton. Mike Reed, okay, 6'2", 200-pound cornerback out of South Dakota. When I tell you, I couldn't find all I could get was his picture off of ESPN. I couldn't get a picture of him playing squat. I had to go to the South Dakota site to get any kind of stats on him. 39 tackles, 7 passes defended, and 2 interceptions. Yeah, I don't know too much about him at all, whatsoever. Sure the Panthers scouted him, and do any of y'all know anything about him before I move on?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, not at all. Never heard of him.
All right. Cool beans. Yeah. But Mike Reed. All right. Okay. Also, we have Isaac Gifford, the safety from Nebraska. 6'1", 205 pounds, 73 tackles, 1 pass defended, and 4 tackles for loss last year. And with this one, and I think he played a cornerback and safety, but I just laughed because we drafted a player from Nebraska, played under Matt Rule. I just, that for me was just not drafted, but we signed. I'm sorry. I just think this is hilarious. Not him. I hope he comes in and plays great, but I just be like, but we'll see. Because my thing is too, like now we have Morig and Ransom. Okay, now both of them, strong safety, potentially playing in the box. They're both good at stopping the run. But if you look at Morig's coverage grade from PFF and Ransom's coverage grade out of Ohio State from PFF, it does leave a little bit it lacks. Okay, it leaves a little bit to be concerned with, in my opinion. And that's why I'm saying, like, we got we got all these safeties that can be in the box, stop the run. But in the same time, I've heard Morgan come out and say that he is comfortable playing Morig and Ransom, at free safety and strong safety. They can be in the box safety and they can be safety over the top. I don't know enough about this cat to say that he can come in and contribute, to any of that. Do any of y'all have anything on Mr. Gifford here?
Not really. Not really. But on the Ransom and Morig thing, that's real interesting, CJ, because it's like, what do they view Lathan Ransom as possibly starting with Morig? And if that's the case, who
Yeah,
would be the free safety?
yeah.
You know what
Go
I
ahead,
mean?
boss.
That's like, to
Right
me,
now, I think the depth.
that's like the biggest remaining question left for me.
Yeah.
Who do they got on the depth chart right now, CJ? I think it's Morig is at free safety, and they had maybe Ransom at strong safety.
Yeah, well, right here on this is our lads. Okay, this is the Panthers haven't come out with a depth chart yet, but they have strong safety. They got Morig, Ransom, and Gifford. You see on the screen, and then at free safety you have Damani Richardson, Nick Scott, and
It was
Thomas
Nick Scott.
Trevian.
That's right, Damani Richardson. I keep forgetting we have Damani
I
Yeah,
Richardson, bro. I keep forgetting we
yeah,
have him.
How can you
okay,
forget the
so I had
GOAT,
seen.
Camden
That's what I'm
Ramsey?
saying. How could I forget? He played pretty well toward the end of the season.
mm-hmm.
He's the
What you
I
best
say,
saw a depth
Charles?
coverage
chart
safety
and
we
they
got right
had
now.
Nick Scott starting, bro.
I'll lose my
That
damn
that
mind.
was
336.
They was
I
just
guarantee you that was
uninformed.
ESPN. That was ESPN. ESPN has Nick
It
Scott
was,
as our
bro, and I was
starting
like,
safety.
no,
Oh my
No,
no.
yes,
goodness.
Lord.
I'll lose my
Yes.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why is he still on this team?
Exactly, DK. I don't know.
Special
I have
teams.
no clue. I have no clue. But yeah, it's like Shy Tuttle all over again. But but I like Shy
CJ, Nick
Tuttle. I
Scott
think
is
Shy
one of the
Tuttle's in the
worst
wrong
safeties I
scheme.
ever seen.
Don't put Shy
I,
Tuttle and Nick Scott in the same sentence.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm still. I wonder why Shy Tuttle's still on the team. But like I said, I don't dislike Shy Tuttle. I think he's playing in the wrong scheme. But Nick Scott, he had
Nick Scott one of the
terrible.
worst safeties I ever seen, bro. Like
Yeah.
in
Oh
real
yeah.
time, this is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! So
He.
looking at Lathan Ransom, CJ and fellas, he played 226 snaps in the box, but he played
Mm-hmm.
490 snaps at deep safety. So he may be
Yeah.
the free safety. He could
I
be the
And
think they're
free
that's what
gonna
I was
safety.
start
going to
him
bring
next week.
up. Yeah. And that's what I was going to bring up because the Panthers did put out a graphic about that. He played more snaps at free safety than he did at strong safety. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
for
see.
sure.
But see, my
Yeah.
problem is I like the way he plays the run, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Which
kind of
one?
why I
Ransom?
was seeing him as I was seeing him as strong safety, but I guess Morik plays the run well too, so it's kind of like pick your poison. It's just who's better in coverage, I guess.
Yeah, I mean this is true. But just think about this. And I forgot. I think Nick said this about if we had one of them drop down as like the big nickel, and then maybe you got like a Damani Richardson, playing over the top or something, So you got more rig as like as strong safety, and maybe Ransom coming in at big nickel, but you got Damani Richardson playing over the top. That might be a situation.
Mhm.
But then again, I kind of question because we had Jeremy Chin here, and for whatever reason Evero refused to play him. You know what I mean? I don't know if he just didn't like his game, his style, or whatever. But I do think that was somebody who could have been using multiple positions that could have helped the Panthers out, and he sat on the bench and played special teams. So I
Yeah, that's
don't know
one of
if
the
it was
things I
more for
wanted to tell
Evero.
y'all, CJ.
What's up?
For everybody that don't like that 4-2-5, you're gonna see it a lot. So y'all might as well just get
Oh, I
used
know.
to it. I promise you. Yeah, you're gonna
Oh
see it a
yeah.
lot,
Oh, I
like it
know.
or not.
One thing about Evero, he don't change much because it was prevalent last year, but I mean he was doing the same thing the year before, so it's not
Yeah,
like it was just new last year. But yeah, no, I got you. I'm just like you said in the comment earlier, Boston. I'm hoping that we have the players now to be able to run that set more effectively. Okay,
right.
because I
That's
keep
what I'm
saying
expecting.
we will work. We had Publix employees out there. I mean, they was frying chicken the day before they was playing an NFL game on that Sunday. I mean, that's the way it felt like towards the end of the season. It was just people coming from everywhere, and you're just like,
And
who is this? Who is that?
You keep
and the
proving my
Panthers
point
didn't
with
fire his
Evero.
staff though. He fired his
What you say?
own staff. The Panthers didn't fire his staff.
They made him fire his staff.
Yeah, yeah.
You believe that?
Hey,
I I 100% believe that. Like damn CJ, I forgot your name. Like CJ just said, Evero don't change for nothing. He don't
nah.
change. He's stubborn. He ain't make that decision.
Well,
You two will demonetize me if I say Matt Rule's name again. Well, let that be the last time. That is hilarious. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and move on. And I think there we go in the card. There's your boy right there, and mine too,
I
Ryan
got a scouting
Fitzgerald.
report on him.
Okay, well, hold on 1 second. All right, so he attempted 14 extra points, made all 14. He attempted 13 field goals, made all 13. Field goal percent, extra point percentage 100%. He's 6'1", 189 pound kicker out of Florida State. Go ahead, Nakar.
So I was looking at some tape. I made a scouting report, and the scouting report says that he is not Eddie Pinheiro. That's all that matters.
Yo, and Eddie Pinheiro is still unsigned. I saw that yesterday. They had a list of all the Panthers from last year that's still unsigned. Him and Shaq Thompson are still unsigned. Yeah, but yeah, let me tell you, Eddie P.
Don't say that
When he
name no
first
more.
when he first got here, I liked him.
I did.
Okay, but he missed kicks too often when it mattered. His leg was not that great, so it wasn't like if we got an attempt for maybe like a 61 or 62-yard field goal. I mean, the Panthers weren't even going to attempt that. I don't even remember how many kicks in like the deep 50 yard range that he made. So we'll see. We'll see. But anybody got, besides Nakari saying that he's not Eddie P, anybody got any thoughts on Mr.
I was pretty
Fitzgerald
hyped.
here?
I was pretty hyped for this signing too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be our kicker for real.
Yeah. I wish it was the kid from Miami, but he got drafted. So, next best.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
with
Well,
that
it is
Andres with that Miami kicker and Bojangles, that would have been a nice little marketing scheme with his last name. That could have been something they could have made some good money on.
that's
Bojangles.
hey, but we are going to have a kicking competition though because we still have Matthew Wright on the roster as well.
It's not a competition.
I
It's
saw
just
this
for
kid hit
it's
a
for
game-winning.
optics.
I saw
It's
this kid
for
hit a
optics.
game-winning 56-yarder in the rain.
Yeah.
I
Wasn't that the
signed
first
up
game of
right.
the season
Yeah, I
against
signed up. As soon as I saw that,
Now,
I'm like, "Yep, I'll take that."
They wouldn't even
now
put
y'all slow
ADP out
down
there
now.
for that attempt.
What you
He's
Boston,
a
say,
career.
Boston?
Boston, don't
He
you do that.
he he's a career 78% in
I don't
college.
care.
Okay, for field
He's not
goals.
ADP.
Now
Oh,
he had two
Fitzgerald.
really good. Yeah, he's had two really good
Okay,
years this past 2 years though. Two
He's
really good
okay.
gotten
seasons
better
this past
every year.
2 years. Yeah, yes, yes.
Well, well, let's hope that that streak continues with the Panthers. Let's just hope that continues. All right. Let me see. Did y'all see Eddie's face when we drafted? I wish I could have. I wish I could have. I swear, I wish I could
I don't know how you
have.
did, but I need you to tell me.
But everybody
Anybody
hates
but
Eddie.
Money P. Time to move on from the short leg enchilada. Oh my god.
Well, everybody hates Eddie, bro.
I mean, and the thing was, okay, Eddie wasn't bad. He wasn't
Yes, he
terrible, but
was.
Eddie just it was
Every
always
time
the
we
wrong
needed a
time.
big kick from him, bro, he missed.
He got
There you
held
go.
Every
That's
single
not
Yeah.
time it
true.
was a big
That
kick,
is
he
not
missed.
That is.
true, Nick.
Do you
That
know
is
how
Well, I
absolutely
mean,
not true.
we were
it's
holding
not
our
like he
breath
didn't.
on 30
We were,
yarders in the
we
fourth
were,
quarter?
yeah. But the thing is, though,
No,
it's not like
y'all
he
was
missed
holding
every
y'all breath.
single kick.
Right. He
Yeah,
had
it's not
some
like he missed
games.
every single kick. He did win us some games. I'm not gonna sit here and be like Eddie got up there and missed every
And he
single kick
lost us
for
some
us.
games too.
And I think for me personally, that's what sticks with me. That's the stuff I remember. Now, mind you, if they would have brought Eddie P back, I would still been talking shit. But you know, at the same time, I would still been rooting for the guy. I don't want him to go out there and miss no daggone kicks, like at all whatsoever. But yeah,
See, he had these games where if he missed early, you knew it was downhill from there. But he
true.
overall really he kind of held it down.
I
Now,
don't want.
anybody expecting him to make the deep kicks, we all know that wasn't
Wasn't gonna
his
happen.
thing.
And
But
that's an
he was an
issue.
accurate kicker, bro. But you can't expect somebody to make 50+ yarders all the time. Like it's the offense's responsibility to kind of put you in field goal range.
I expect my
I can't
kicker
disagree with that.
50 yards should be field goal range. And that's
For
the
some
issue.
kickers.
For
Yeah.
every kicker not named Eddie P.
Hey, now, mind you, we had Dallas kicker. I can't remember his name. I forgot his name, but let me tell you, that dude range is. I wouldn't be surprised if he can hit one for about 68, 69 yards. Now that dude got leg, and he hit a long one last year that got called back because of a penalty, and then I think they punted on the next play. I forgot what game. It was a home game. I forgot who they were playing, but yeah.
Let's not forget
Let
the
me
fact
see.
that we drafted Harrison Butker. He should be our kicker to this day. To this day, he should be our kicker.
Because we had he was with he came in with Graham Gano was still here, and
Graham
then we
Gano
cut
should still be
Butker.
our kicker.
You know what? Hey, Graham Gano got hurt, and then he got
That's a
moved
fact.
on. What, he went to the Giants?
Hmm.
He went to the Giants that next year.
And he's still
But
there.
but
No,
yeah.
CJ, they misdiagnosed his injury. That's what happened with Graham
Gotcha.
Gano. The medical staff misdiagnosed his injury, and I think they told the Panthers that he would be out or down longer than what he was supposed to be. So he ended up going to New
Gotcha.
York, and yeah, he bounced back.
Yeah. And you know what? And the crazy thing is, and you say they misdiagnosed. Y'all know that the Panthers got rid of the training staff this offseason and got a new one in here. And I think that's
Yes, they did.
important and for people not to overlook that because you had a lot of injuries going on around the Panthers, a lot of people coming back, and then it's like they weren't, it's almost looked like they weren't ready to come back. Even like Jonathan Brooks, I never forget me and Tony were on here and we were saying, let that man sit out the season. Don't bring him back. Don't rush him back. If he has to sit out his rookie year, fine. He just tore his ACL or MCL, whatever one it was, at the end of the previous college football season. Let that man sit out and don't rush him back. And then what happens? He comes back, plays a game, the next game he tears it again, and he's out. So I think they took a comprehensive look at the Panthers organization, like from a whole. Like I said, they got a whole new training staff. Now, mind you, like you were saying, that Evero got rid of some of his coaches and whatnot. he's still here, but it is good to see that the Panthers are looking at this from, not only just an X and O standpoint, but more of things that go into, player health and getting them back on the field and making sure that they are prepared to go when their name is called upon. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Now, okay. Now, what I want to do, and I'm glad the three of y'all are up here. I thank y'all for joining me today. Now, what I wanted to do to end the show, I wanted to talk about the entire draft. Okay, that's the undrafted free agents, and everybody was drafted through rounds 1 through 7. Okay, and who I think are the winners and the losers. As far as everybody else on the team. Okay, so the winners, and hear me out. I think winners. XL is a winner. Bryce Young is a winner, and the secondary. Just hear me out in the secondary. Okay, but I think XL will be a winner because you get a Ted McMillan in here. I think that will free XL up to be able to go around and be used more so on the field, not more so on the field, but be able to take advantage of him and put him in different spots, different alignments, slot, whatever. I always been harping on, we need somebody who can take the top off the defense. Maybe with Ted McMillan here, maybe XL can be that guy. I mean, like I said last time, you gotta remember he ran a 4.3. He's not slow. You know what I mean? So maybe with the addition of Ted and the attention that he will attract on one side of the field, that may free up XL on the other side. All right. And I know we all talk about XL in his hands and dropping stuff, but he didn't have that. Just like Boston said about Eddie P not missing that many kicks. XL did not drop that many passes. It was just the ones that he dropped. It's just like, oh shit. And everybody remembers it, all the time.
I
Okay.
think he had 8 drops.
Without that Philly drop, we wouldn't be talking about XL the same way. But I ain't gonna say too much because
Don't forget about that one against Cincy either.
the
We might
Philly
win that
drop
game
is
against
more
the Bengals
important.
if he don't drop that pass against the Bengals.
Yeah. Yeah. But like
But
I
it's
said,
okay. It's rookie growing
yeah,
pains. Rookie growing pains. Terrell Owens had a drop.
exactly.
Terrell Owens had a drop problem when he came into the league. I don't know if y'all remember that touchdown he scored against the Packers when he won the game in the playoffs. In that same game, he dropped like 4 passes in that game. But he caught the one
Okay.
when it mattered.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah,
Also,
but like I said,
oh, go ahead, CJ.
no, go ahead, Nicole.
I was just gonna say, X wasn't brought in to be the X. We had Deontay for a reason,
Mhm.
and then he was kind of thrust into that when he wasn't. He was supposed to be running jet sweeps and screens and deep balls, but he had to play the X. But I don't speak on him too much because I'm kind of biased. So
Well,
It's all
to
good.
me, to
Bias or
me, a
not.
guy like XL, my only problem with him coming to the league was his release off the line and his route running. But when I watch the film from September and I compare it to December, his route running has gotten exponentially better throughout the season. So to me, that shows he's dedicated to the game and he's dedicated to his craft because his route running, I mean, you go back in that Philly game, he may have dropped that pass, but some of his route running in that game was exceptional, bro. I was like, this
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look like a rookie. You know what I mean? So I got I got all the faith in the world. I'm not worried about XL at all because I feel like another thing with him is that man only cares about 3 things: his family, his football, and his horses. And I like my players like that. He got his
Hey.
priorities intact, bro. You know what I mean? He gonna
And,
work hard. He looks
mm-hmm.
massive. Like I saw
Yeah.
that interview with Kay Adams. Like he looks
Mm-hmm.
bigger. He looks a lot bigger. So, you know,
Yeah.
some DBs are gonna have some trouble getting their hands on him this year. You about to
And
throw
and
their ass off the line.
and the thing is, with everybody, it kind of gets me is all you see on Twitter or X, is everybody posting, him at the Kentucky Derby, him out riding his horses, this and the third. And I say this, and I'm gonna say it again. My God, just because that man likes to ride horses, everybody thinks that he's not in the lab, doing what he's supposed to be
Oh,
doing.
he in the
And I,
lab.
yeah, and I beg everybody to kind of, start thinking like that, people share what they want to share, but that does not mean, since my thing is, I'm glad there aren't a bunch of pictures of or him recording himself doing this, that, and the third. My thing is, he is in the lab, he's in the gym, or he's at the stadium or doing whatever. He's focused on what he's doing, not trying to make sure that he's focusing on getting out there that people can see what he's doing. You get what I'm saying? Now,
Yep.
mind you, when he's been at the what is it the OTAs and whatnot, where they had everybody going, I'm saying all season training program. But when he, they show clips of him out there doing this, that, and the third, but everybody looks and see him riding his horses and whatnot, and they think, oh, well, that's all he been doing, and I'm just like, come on now. That really bothers me. That's just like, if somebody else had a hobby or something they like, and that's what they posted about, but then that's all the media and the fans are going to be talking. I don't know, that just really bothers me.
It bothers
I
me too,
swear it
CJ.
does.
Like, these guys aren't allowed to have hobbies, bro. Like, they need that balance in their life. You know what I mean? They need
Yeah,
that balance from being a professional athlete and whatever their hobby is, bro. Whether it's riding horses, hunting, fishing, whatever it is, bro. You know what I mean?
And
yeah,
that's why that ping pong table is still in the locker room for this reason that we're talking about right now.
I got you. I got you. All right, cool. And okay, and obviously Bryce, because he's got a lot of he's got more weapons in this draft. He got his big receiver, 50-50 ball winner, decent route runner, and go up and get it. So we'll see. And even like not necessarily the draft, but even like with Renfro, they've got a lot to play with as far as Bryce, as far as his weapons. Okay. Now they did draft him a tight end. What's the man? Mitchell? Is it Mitchell
That's
Evans?
that's my sleeper pick of the draft, CJ. I think he could
Okay.
develop into the starter.
Okay. I feel you. I
Uh,
feel you. But we got him, and like I said, if I'm Bryce Young, I'm happy with what the Panthers did. Now, okay. On the other hand, Bryce Young got to come out here and produce. All right, because my thing is this too. There's not going to be any well this and well that and well the other this year. In my opinion, he got to come out here and do something. He got
It's
to
got to
come out
happen
here and
early
ball
too,
out.
CJ. It's got to
Thank
happen
you,
early.
Boston. Thank you. Thank you. We have to come out of the gate strong. We cannot come out here and be 1-4 or 1-5 or 3 and whatever. Halfway into the season, they've got to come out here, and it's got to happen early, like 336 Boston said. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, and I got the secondary on here as well, because if our front seven, okay, if our front seven can produce, hopefully at a level way higher than they did last year, hopefully that takes some pressure off of our secondary. If we can stop the run, if we can get pressure on the quarterback, okay, that is less pressure that is on our secondary. The more times that the ball does not get past the line of scrimmage, as far as a quarterback being sacked, maybe the ball being deflected, or running back getting stopped for a short gain or a loss, that's less work that secondary has to put in. Okay, so in that note, I do think that the secondary are winners as far as the draft goes. Now, okay, on the other hand, losers. And there was one person I forgot to put on here. I forgot to put David Moore on here as well. Okay. I like David Moore, but David Moore might be on his way out. But I got Raheem Blackshear on here, because my thing is, there is a lot of people on this roster right now, especially two that were drafted, that can do what Raheem Sanders does. All right. Raheem Sanders played running back last year, but you did not see him play much running back at all until towards the end of the season, mostly in the last game versus Atlanta. Raheem Blackshear was out there returning kicks. Now, mind you, everybody has their opinion on Raheem Blackshear, and as far as his kick return, I think he did a okay job, because my thing is, he was getting the ball, and we talked about this last time about Raheem Blackshear getting so many opportunities because our defense was so trash, which is true. But even when you got the opportunities, you still got to go out there and do something with them. Okay, and I
for
think he
sure.
did a fair job at that. You know
But
what I mean?
my
Go
question
ahead,
to that,
Nick.
CJ, is this: did he return a kick for a punt or a punt for a touchdown last year? No. I can
No,
guarantee. I will guarantee you right now, Jimmy Horn Jr. will return a punt for a touchdown at some point next year. Guarantee.
Hey,
You know what I
let me
mean?
see.
So
I
I
hope that
agree with you
happens.
wholeheartedly about the fact that we drafted some people who can do what he does, if not better. Yeah, he's definitely a big. He took a big L in this draft for sure.
Yeah. Because my thing is, especially like look at ETN. Even if just say Jimmy
I
Horn
forgot
does
he
it,
could return kicks and punts
he
too.
he
That's
can
right,
return them
CJ.
too. You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I mean?
right.
He can return them, and he's gonna probably be the third string running back. Okay, ETN is gonna be on the roster on game days. So
Hmm.
like I said, I don't have anything against Blackshear, but I would be dumb to sit here and be like, oh yeah, well he's completely safe because the man only signed a 1 year contract. It's not like they brought Raheem Blackshear back and signed him to a 3 year contract worth 15-20 million. Nah, he's got a 1 year
Yeah,
deal for minimum.
it's over for
You know.
Blackshear, y'all. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It's over
yeah. He
for him.
gone.
Mm.
He gone.
Hey, and also I thank you for the 130 people that are watching across YouTube and X. And just like my dear wife says here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on both YouTube and X. I greatly appreciate the love and support, everybody. But yes, now on going on the secondary, I got the secondary as losers as well because I still don't think we did enough to address the secondary. Okay, now mind you, we got Lathan Ransom. Okay, but like we was talking about earlier, is he going to be more of a box safety, strong safety? Can he cover over the top? Which he did have more snaps over the top than in the box in college. But if you go back and look at his PFF grade, his coverage score was not anything to write home about. We brought
And
in
Morris is like a
Julian Black.
54.
Yes, yeah, Morris wasn't that great neither, but his run stopping grade, I think, was like a 90 something. So that was excellent. That was excellent. But also we have JC Horn. Okay, let me see. We got JC Horn. We have Mike Jackson. We got Caleb Evans. Mike Reed, who we just talked about. And I think it was Slideshow that made a comment earlier. Shamar Bartholomew, the we picked them up from the Jets last year, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and my thing is this: I just thought that they would have brought some more help in. We have Smith Wade as a slot corner, and we also brought in MJ Devonshire, who was drafted by the Raiders last year and spent the year on their practice squad. All right, but I thought they would have been a little bit more aggressive in free agency at the corner spot. They weren't. I said, okay, cool. Well, because I had Will Johnson as somebody the Panthers would probably draft, or who was my man from Iowa State? I forgot the cornerback's name from Iowa State. But I thought a cornerback would be
Darian Porter.
somebody.
I wanted him
Darian
bad too.
Porter.
Yeah, I wanted
Darian
him too.
Porter. Or,
Yeah.
like a Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. I drafted him a lot in my mock drafts too. But me personally, I didn't think the Panthers were aggressive enough, at that spot. And especially like, even with safety. Now went out and we got Morig. But in the same sense, you bring back Nick Scott. I would have rather them gone out and drafted somebody than brought back Nick Scott. To be perfect honesty with you, shoot, I throw one of these undrafted the one undrafted free agent that we got at safety, give me him over Nick Scott any daggone day, the way Nick Scott played last year. But that's why I say I got them on this losers list as well, because I don't think that they did enough as far as we got depth across the board. Look at the depth we got on the defensive line. All right. Look at the depth on the offensive line, wide receiver, running back. Okay. If you look at the secondary and even the linebackers, so we got a lot of names on here. Okay. Inside line, we got Trevin Wallace, Claudin Sherrills, Jacoby Wyndham. You got Bam Martin Scott that we just picked up one of the undrafted free agents, and I forgot my man's name that fast because for whatever reason he is not on here. The dude from Fresno State, and we also have Josie Jewell, Christian Roseboom, John Radigan. But that was another position that I thought they might go look at upgrading or adding some more depth to as far as the draft. All right, so that's why I have the linebackers in the secondary on as potential losers. Okay, I would probably put it more so in the secondary, than I would the linebackers, but we'll see. But guys, give me your thoughts on this.
I guess I'll go first. I agree with you, CJ. As far as winners and losers for the secondary, it's weird because like I do consider it a winner because, like you said, I think Dan Morgan had a philosophy as far as he wants to win the early downs, so
Mm-hmm.
he wants to create third and longs, which in essence it benefits the secondary, obviously. But it also is a loser because we didn't really address anything. We drafted a guy in Lathan Ransom who I like, but do I think he's a day one starter? I don't think so. I'm not gonna like his chances as a day one starter. I think he may struggle, especially early on in the season. So I think it's something we definitely need to address. Um, I'd love Julian Blackman. Um, But we do have Clowney, Wanham, Scorton, Princely, DJ Johnson, and Pat Jones. So we have six edge rushers. Are we going to carry
Mm-hmm.
six edge rushers going into the season? I don't think so. I
No.
think someone's going to
Absolutely.
get cut, and I think DJ Johnson caught the short straw there because we're not going to pay Pat Jones 2 years, $20 million to cut
Yes.
him. You know what I mean? He's going
Yes.
to be there. Then obviously
Mm-hmm.
the two guys we drafted and Wanham are staying. So unless it's Clowney, which
Clowney
I
is
mean,
the
unless
odd
it's a
man out, Nick.
situation unless it's a situation where you cut Clowney, get that 7 million back, and go and
Mm-hmm.
get a Julian Blackman or Justin Simmons, I'm cool with that. But if we cut Clowney and we don't get a safety or a corner, I'm not gonna really like that move.
Clowney's the
I feel
odd man
you.
out for whatever move they're gonna make. Just being real.
I can
You're
see
saying
that.
Clowney
DJ
336?
Johnson, yeah, DJ Johnson is still a young guy. They just drafted him. I mean,
Yeah, what 2 years
you
ago we
got you
drafted
got
him?
yeah, you got like I mean, you got at least three or four guys who can give you exactly what Clowney's going to give you right now. That's probably
Mm-hmm.
under 27.
True.
It's no to me. It's no question. Like he's the odd man out to me.
Okay. I can agree with that.
And as
Nefari,
far
what
as
you
the
think, buddy?
linebackers, yeah, that as well. Like, I mean, Trev, Josie Jewell, Rose Boom, Windman. I mean, they clearly think highly and they think Trevin Watts is going to take a big step forward going into the season. So we're just only time will tell.
This is true.
Yeah,
This is true.
I'm not against letting the young guys play though. Once you
What up,
draft them,
Panther boy?
go ahead and put them guys on the field, man. That's why I'm hoping that Ransom starts this year too. Go ahead and get him out
Yeah.
there. Don't waste no time in between. You draft
I'm
these
telling you
guys at pretty
this.
high positions. Go ahead and get them out there on the
Mm-hmm.
field, bro.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be highly upset first 4 or 5 games of the season, and we rarely see Nick Scorton and Princely on the field. Everyone out
Right.
there, I don't play rookies like that. Well, bro, you
You out
better
here
start,
starting
son.
freaking Clowney. And come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now, mind you, if they came out with a set rotation, I wouldn't be upset with that. Okay, I would not be upset with that. But get these guys on the field. Don't let these dudes sit on the bench and just sit there and just do like like you waiting to get fired at the end of the year. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
didn't play DJ Johnson much his rookie year, did he?
Nah, not that shit. He didn't play him much last year neither. Even with all the injuries, he didn't see the field a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, y'all.
we'll see. Yeah, but I still remember that draft, and me and Tony sitting here watching the draft, and we were like, "Ooh, so and so is right there." And the Panthers got 2 picks coming up, and then we trade 2 picks to jump up and pick DJ Johnson. We both sitting there like, "Wait a minute, who?"
All
Yeah,
right.
and he
I
like I
didn't
said,
know
he
who this
hasn't
guy
seen.
was.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the field much since. And they said they panicked. They panicked because all the defensive ends started going off the board. And I'm just like, well, that's how you should have picked one earlier, but hey, whatever. But by the
We're
time
still
they,
dealing with that Brian Burns thing.
true. This is true. This is true. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. But we're real quick before we get out of here. I did have and this is the depth chart according to our lads. Okay. Um, So you have the draftees are in this reddish pink color. You got Jonathan Brooks, he's hurt, he is out. The free agent signings are in orange, and the undrafted free agents are here in this green color. Okay. And let me see. And there is a Bryce Pierce here too. I don't know if he's undrafted or was invited to minicamp or whatever. I did not see his name on that list either as well. All right. And you got the defense.
God
And my
damn, we got
man,
9. How many tight ends was that, CJ? Holy.
let me see.
One,
Trimble,
two, three, four, five.
Sanders, Evans, Daphne, Granger, Jordan Matthews, Mitchell Evans, and Bryce Pierre.
Damn.
Yeah,
We got
that's a
8
lot of
tight
damn
ends on
tight
the
ends.
roster.
You know
That's a
we
lot
ain't
of tight
carrying
end.
all of them now. We'll
God
probably carry
damn.
three.
We probably carry 3, 5 of them getting cut for sure.
Look at the wide receivers. There's 9, um,
So many.
10, 11, 12, 13. It's 14 wide receivers on the roster right now.
Okay,
That is
I said
wild.
How
15
many you think
earlier,
we
so I was
carry,
pretty
CJ?
close.
Going
Let
into
me
the season
see.
right now. I know it's tough to say now.
I said 7, Nick.
I say 6.
Boy, let
And
me
I
say, hey,
know that seems
Tri-State, I
like a
was
lot, bro.
no, we carried 6 last year. We carried 6, but just think if they get somebody out there that just shows up and shows out, they might end up carrying 7. You never know.
True.
So we'll
I
see.
think 4 are locked. McMillan, XL, Thielen, and Coker. I think 2 to
Mm-hmm.
3 are gonna be that's gonna be a nice little competition, man. Nice
Mm-hmm.
little competition.
Hey, I will
Okay,
go
so
ahead
they
and say
may.
this. Oh, go ahead, boss.
I was just gonna say real quick. I think they may slot Jimmy Horn in at special teams like kick return, punt return,
Yeah.
but you can still use that
Mm-hmm.
guy as a wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
most
Hmm.
definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say that you could probably add him in as number 5, Jimmy Horn, and then like I said, David Moore, Renfro, and whoever else. If they end up keeping 7, let me see, it'd be McMillan, Leggett, Coker, Thielen. It's gonna be Horn, Moore, and Hunter Renfro. Now mind you, like I said, if Jacoby George and Kobe Hudson show up and show out, I think David Moore is going to be the odd man out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, if Hunter Renfro comes back and he is in form and he is what he was with the Raiders. I was about to say L.A. Damn, if he's what he was with the Raiders or even close, he's on the roster.
Yeah.
He's on the roster because he does bring a skill set. He can get open. He runs routes very well, and that is something that Bryce can use. So like I said, if he is close to what he was, he is on the roster. David Moore, in my opinion, is going to be, and let me tell you, and I like David Moore. Okay, I was campaigning for David Moore to come back. I was glad when they signed him, but if David Moore if he ain't on his A game this offseason going into camp and preseason, and one of them other guys shows out, David Moore is gonna be the odd man out. Yep.
I won't be mad about it either because I like the fact that they're trying to raise the floor of the roster. You
You
need a
know
higher
what? And
floor in the room.
I don't know if you said that Boston in the last live in the chat, or if I heard you say that on somebody else's live. I think it was you. I heard say that you were happy that the floor has been like all the way down here, and it does look like the Panthers are trying to raise the floor up. Where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we got all this talent at the top, but we can't. We've got to be able to. Okay, well, if our top talent goes down, we it's like what we got at the bottom is damn near through the basement and going deep into the damn earth. That like
Yeah.
the floor is just through the damn floor. So yeah, I do like that comment, and Blackfire, I like your comment as well, where it says love the competition for this roster. That's my thing, is bringing people to compete, man. Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I am
Stop
all
handing out
for it.
positions. Let these guys fight for them. See who want to
Yep,
come and play, you
exactly.
know?
Exactly. And right here is our defensive depth chart according to our lads. Not much. I do. Let me tell you, I am so happy to see that name right here, Cam Jackson from
Boy,
Florida.
me
Oh
too.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
happy.
me
Me
3.
too.
Me 3.
So happy. And the thing is too. Now, mind you, just say shot total gets moved over to defensive end or something, or in a weird world. Okay, we still got Gerard Clark back here as well out of Coastal Carolina. And I think he's like 6'2", 340 something pounds as well. So I am interested to see what he can bring to the table as well. But my thing is, love the signing of Bobby Brown the third, but I'm also happy that our only backup is not Shy Tuttle. That I think that's
Well,
what
that's
I'm
a
most
fact.
excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy can
Yes.
play, CJ. He can really play,
Yeah.
bro.
And
Cam can really fucking
he
ball.
he yeah. And I think like with Bobby Brown too, he actually lined up in multiple spots. He lined up at defensive end, I mean, nose tackle and defensive end for the Rams. So he has a little bit of versatility too. And my thing is with Cam Jackson, I keep bringing up Starla Tulele. Okay, Starla Tulele did not get to the quarterback and get a whole lot of sacks, but you know what Starla Tulele did? Starla Tulele ate up double teams. Okay, he ate up double teams, and K1 Short ate like he was at
Relentlessly.
damn yeah, bruh. Let me tell you, he
And
he
an
was
all you can
getting
eat buffet.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
K1 Short had
Facts.
what, like 11 sacks that year. Let
As
me
a
tell
D
you,
tackle and a 4-3
as,
too. That's
as
unheard
a
of, bro.
D tackle. Star
Yeah.
Tulele was getting double teamed game after game after game, and K1 Short was running by looking at him
Taking
like,
advantage of
appreciate
that
you,
shit.
dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
like hey, I got you after the game. We're gonna go out to eat on me as he running to the quarterback. But that's something that we've been sorely missing, because even like when Derek Brown was drafted, if I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they try to slim him down a little bit?
Not the second year. Yeah. Year two,
Second
they
year,
tried to
Second year,
okay,
slim him
yeah.
all right,
down. They were going to make him a pass rusher.
got you, okay,
Stupid.
but yeah,
Yeah, he went up in weight, then down in weight, then they sent him back up in weight.
okay, I
Matt
got
Rule
you.
didn't know what the hell he was doing. Yeah, they didn't know
He
what they were
didn't.
doing, bro.
He didn't. He sure didn't. That's wild. All right, but then if we move on to and one other thing I thought was interesting on this. Now look at the right outside linebacker. You got Wanham, you got Patrick Jones as the backup, and they got Umanli Mielen. I've not said that wrong.
Nah,
Princely,
you
my
got that
bad. They
right,
got
bro. You said that right.
okay. Okay, gotcha. Princely, they got him as the third outside linebacker. I think that's going to be interesting too. One of these cats is not going to make it. One of these cats is not going to make it
But
between
between who?
Clowney and Johnson. Oh, and then let me say, who's also probably not going to make it? Amari Barno. Because mind you, we all had high hopes for him. I haven't seen Amari Barno do a darn thing but run a fast
He's on
40.
special teams. Yeah, he's on special
Eh,
teams.
He's a good gunner on special teams. That's about it
He's a
though.
really good gunner.
okay.
I
Yeah.
think he was the league's best gunner on special teams.
Hmm. Okay. Shoot, I didn't even know they kept up with that, but that's all right. But yeah, but as far as edge rusher, I don't think he's gonna do much. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. And then we slide over to special teams here. They already have Jimmy Horn as the kick returner and the punt returner. Blackshear as the backup,
Respect.
and you got Moore and Rico Dowdle as the third stringers. Kickoffs, Matthew Wright and Fitzgerald. Like I said, I think there will be a kicker competition here in Carolina. Sam Martin is the punter, and JJ Jansen is back for his 72nd season with the Carolina Panthers as
Yeah,
our long snapper.
he is.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah. In the car, I said, my bad, I fell asleep. You good in the car? You good? You good. But yeah, man. But that's all I got for the day, y'all. Like I said, I just wanted to go over the undrafted free agents and who we thought were winners and losers, for this draft as a whole. What I'm going to do here now in the future is start going through the roster position group by position group. And I hope to do a series of player spotlights for the entire roster. Okay, I'm gonna try and do one for the entire roster. See if I can't find some interesting facts or just the basics on some of these people that a lot of people do not know, and most of it you can find on Google. But if I can keep you from having to Google it, hey, win-win. All right. But Boston, 336 Boston, I thank you for joining me. Nick Tri-State, Nakari, who was up here as well, but he fell asleep. I thank all y'all for joining me. And
Appreciate you
y'all got
having us,
anything?
bro.
No, anytime, man. Anytime. Hey, y'all see the link, man. Hit it. I'll be here. But Boston,
Yeah, no doubt.
Nick, any last thoughts? And make sure y'all tell the people where to find you at.
Keep pounding as always. Drink water and go Panthers. You already know. Tri-State
Yeah,
Talk
no
Sports.
doubt.
If y'all get a few seconds, go subscribe. I'm trying to get the subscribers up.
Yes, sir.
Much love.
I don't really know about last words. It's a little early, man. Just interested to see how
Oh
this
no.
roster plays
Just
out.
Yeah, just for the day. We're not talking about for just for the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No
Yeah,
last words, man. Y'all stay up. Everybody, be blessed. Have a good, rest of your weekend. Time to get back to it tomorrow. You guys want to
yes,
find me? You can
sir.
find me at 336 Boston right here on YouTube, bro.
All
Appreciate that,
right, man.
CJ.
Hey, anytime, man. Like I said, man, if that link is in the chat, I'm trying to get more people to come up here and chat with me, as well. I like to keep it a little bit level over here. I'm not not too rah over here. I always say we attack the topic and not each other, but I do like to hear everybody's opinions. I've been called a bisexual and all this stuff, but my thing is, yeah, and that's cool. But my thing is, I want to hear everybody's opinion. I don't care if you hate every word that comes out of my mouth. You are always welcome to come up here and talk with me. Just we just keep it respectful. That's all. But yeah, but I appreciate everybody. And like I said, if the link is in the chat, pull up on your boy. We can talk. All right. But like I said, that is it for our draft recap. We did part one the other night, which was the first 7 rounds of the draft. And today we did the undrafted free agents, and we talked about the winners and losers. What we thought were the winners and losers from the entire draft. Okay. And again, I just want to thank everybody for joining me. Everybody's watching on X, watching on YouTube. Before you get out of here, everybody, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. Follow me on all social media at Armchair GMCJ. Thank you to my dear wife for the gifted memberships that she provided earlier. Everybody that got them, welcome to the front office. All right. Thank you for being part of it. Like I said, I would be doing more in the future to try and make sure you re-up that membership next month. And if you haven't, and if you want to, it's 99 cents. The link is on my channel, and I greatly appreciate all the love and support. All right. And Panther Nation, as always, I'm gonna leave y'all with 3 things. Number 1, y'all be good. Number 2, y'all be safe. And number 3, as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding, man. Holla at your boy.